Is this stone theme palette giving us what we need? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be bringing you my review of playing with the Agate Temptation palette by Singe Beauty. This is what this gorgeous, lovely looks like. I also did decide to treat myself and pick up their entire brush set. This is just the eye brushes, and I do talk about this, kind of give you a general review and everything at the end. Let's go ahead and just talk about a couple key facts. So this palette is available now, only $45, so they were able to keep the same price, which is super exciting, especially in these times when everything is getting a lot more expensive. It did ship really well and quick if you care about that. All in all, I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and delve into some swatches. This Agate Slice-inspired palette features 10 pigmented mattes, 3 sparkly metallics, 1 sparkly wet-looking topper, 1 duochrome iridescent topper, and 1 multi-chrome shadow. Alright, so sorry if the swatches were a little weird. Usually, there's more information about palettes, and I kind of read off as I'm doing the swatches. There wasn't, a whole lot, so I kind of just had to do my best. Might have thrown in some music in there, but hopefully that was okay. I would absolutely love to know as well, with swatches, do you prefer to see live swatches? Do you not mind if a person just kind of shows you it all swatched on their hand and just kind of shows you real quick? Because honestly, I could do either or. I figure it's just helpful to show some swatches if you are curious. Definitely let me know your thoughts with that down below. But let's go ahead and move into our first look. For my first look, I cannot help myself. I feel like I have to go for the green. That is what is jumping out to me. I'm going to dip in with the E11. It's that small pencil brush. And taking our shade Plume, which looks to me like the super blackened dark green shade. I'm going to start by taking that underneath my lower lash line. And I'm going to stop it right where that color part of our eye starts. I'm gonna wing it out. I've actually really been getting into faux cut crease kind of idea. The best I can, I'm gonna stare straight ahead and just take this shade slightly just above. And then I'm gonna end the shape right where this color part of our eye ends in the front. And then just connect to my outer corner. Switching over to the E1 brush, taking that same shade, I'm just going to start filling in this shape. I'm going to come, like I did on the bottom, to this color part of the eye, and then I'm just gonna fill in the rest of this shape with this darker green shade. Switching over to an E10 brush, so kind of a longer pencil type brush, I'm going to dip in with this gorgeous shade Slice. This shade is such a gorgeous grungy green. So I'm going to take this just on our bottom lash line where the color part of our eye is. And then I'm going to do a little bit in the front here with our crease just to continue our shade. And then I'm going to start just going around all of the edges. Just tap in. These shades are almost blending each other out. Switching over to an E5, which is another kind of fluffy pencil type of brush. I'm going to go ahead and with the shade Moss. And I'm basically just going to repeat the exact same steps. I'm going to take a bit more of this into our inner part of the eye. And I'm just going to kind of use this to start buffing this shade around the shape. I really like this brush. It definitely is a bit fluffier than that one we just used. So I feel like it makes it really easy to get in and kind of just blend things out. Add some on this inner bottom part of the eye as well. And then I'm going to go ahead, I think it's this one, switch over to the E6, which is a pretty big fluffy brush, dipping in with Banded, this gorgeous bright limey green. I find this shade interesting because I feel like it definitely there's brightness to it though, that it just feels different than a lime green that I've normally tried. It just feels very pigmented, and my brain wants to say it feels brighter. So I almost want to say it has maybe some more white in it. I don't know if that's accurate, but it just feels like this really good bright green shade. Repeating the same steps on the bottom. And then going in with the big fluffy brush is the E03. Just go around the edges and soften everything out. I'm feeling pretty good with this blend here. I'm seeing a little bit in here that I'm not loving, so I'm just going to, let's just use the one we used for that green shade, that lightish green shade. I just want to make sure everything is nice and softened. You can, of course, though, like I did on the other side to get more pigmentation, I just redid all the same steps. But I'm feeling okay on this side. I feel like we look pretty blended and good. We can always, of course, come back if we're not liking. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in with shimmers. So I'm going to take this gorgeous shade Quartz just with my finger. And we're just going to stamp that where that colored part of our eye is. And I'm slightly overlapping with this outer colored shade. Switching over to an E4 brush. It's like a flat shader brush. I'm going to go ahead and pick up translucent. And just apply that into the inner part of the eye. These shades pick up really well with the brush, which is really nice. And to also shout out this brush, I love this. I feel like I can never find a good brush to put a shade right under my brow bone. But I feel like it is able to get up there. And I don't have any gap between like where the shimmer shade and my brow bone is. And I like that. It just adds a nice extra fun pop. Back in with our blending brush just to make sure everything is nice and blended. So here is our completed look, and honestly, I really like it. Let me know what you think of this look down below, and let's go ahead and jump into our next look. So if you cannot tell, I have reached that point in summer where I'm already craving fall makeup. I know, super weird, but I think that this palette has just such, like, this part here. I mean, it's just giving fall color so much. So I really felt like I had to take it there, and I just can't help myself. I know it's beginning of June or mid-June, but it's always fall in my heart. Let me know if any of you get to a point in the year, if you love fall like me, where you're just like, okay, it's Halloween. So I'm going to take the pencil brush, which is the E11. It's like a little pencil brush. And I'm going to dip in with, oh, it's like Dentric, I think. It's like a deep, dark brown. And I am just going to do kind of what I normally do. So where this colored part of my eye is, I'm going to put my brush there. Create a little bit of a line. Do the same thing underneath the lash line. I would love to know, what is your favorite season? Do you like the summer? I hate the summer. Like, I'm trying to like it. I'm trying not to hate it so much. But because I love, like, when it's cooler weather, I find that I just crave, like, fall and slightly winter. Because it snows where I live, so I don't, like, fully love winter. I'm going to switch over to a fluffier brush, which is the EO5. With the same shade, just to fill this in. I guess we can talk about these brushes and how I'm feeling. I definitely feel like I have more my favorites. I think I've used mostly all of them. And I really do like them. I think that they are really nice quality. There are definitely other brush sets that I have tried that are a bit more inexpensive that I think also have really nice brushes. These are beautiful, don't get me wrong, and I have some ones that I absolutely love, but I have played with cheaper brush sets that I think do just as good. Let's go ahead, continuing on. I think I'm going to stick with the same brush. I'm just going to wipe it off. And I'm going to jump in with, where is it? Volcanic. Originally, I thought this was more like a red shade, but I feel like it's definitely more orange. So I'm just going to put that into my crease. And I'm going to take it where the colored part of my eye, like, ends here. Take you that shade as well. I'm going to start going around this darker brown. Just start blending that out. And then, same brush, I'm going to take it underneath the eye to that same spot, matching with the top. And I'm just going to follow around the same thing. Look how pretty that is. You could honestly even just do this and, like, soften it out. And I think you'd be, like, so good to go. Let's go in with this slightly fluffier brush. So this is the EO6, or I guess it's a pretty fluffy brush. And I'm going to dip in with, oh my god, I don't even know how to say this word. Agate. I realize that this palette is very, like, stone themed, so I think everything in here is very, like, stone named. I'm just going to put this in this front part here. I do almost wish that maybe this shade, or that there was a slightly lighter shade to blend this out, but I of course could always go in with a different, like, shade or like a foundation powder if I really wanted to. And I think it has that super nice gradient of what I just consider like fall colors. I really love it. Taking around the same areas that I did on the top. soften everything out. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this brush. This is the E8. That's something I will say while we're like just looking. I do feel like there's brushes that how I do my style of makeup, I feel like are really similar, and I don't know if I would need all of them. But I do know when I have watched like Angelica Nikvas, you know, the owner, do their makeup, they will use the fluffier brushes first. I think it just depends on like how you do your makeup. I can tell between the difference, and I'm probably going to want to like deepen up. But for right now, I'm not hating. So let's go ahead, jump in with our shimmers. So I first am going to use the the lighter shimmer, which is called Silica. Taking the E7, I love how flat this brush is, and these shades pick up so well with the brush. I'm going to take this right underneath the brow bone. This is definitely one of my favorite brushes, just for how easy I am able to get underneath my brow bone and place the shimmer. I feel like most brushes are not able to do that, but I feel like because this has that like flatness, it works really well with that. Go ahead and take some into the front part of our eye as well. I'm only going to be using 2 shimmer shades, so I'm going to take this covering that entire like inner white part of our eye. And I am going to take a Need Beat underneath as well. Add a little extra shimmer. If you want, you can definitely, of course, go in with a finger just to really get in there and tap that gorgeous shade on. I love that it feels quite transformative, because I feel like in the pan it looks pretty like cool toned, but like on the eye, it really, for me, flips like gold. I'd be curious to play with it with like some of the greens just to see if that kind of flip stays the same. I'm gonna go ahead just with my finger, dip into Fire, which is another kind of duochrome shade, and just tap between our dark brown and that lighter shade. I feel like just to like match it up, I am probably gonna like deepen a little bit more. So I'm just gonna take this brush that I have been loving, which is the EO5. It's just really small. I'm gonna dip in. Actually, let's start off first with Metamorphic, this like brown. Add a little bit and throughout the crease, just for one, to help to deepen a bit, but also I feel like it really just helps everything blend together a bit more. Dip in more with that darkest shade, I think it's Dentric, just to replace that shade on the outer part of the eye to get that definition that I'm looking for. Alright, here we are for the end of today's look, and honestly, I really like it. I love these like fall vibes so much. It's literally so pretty. Let's go ahead and jump into my final thoughts of the palette and the brushes. So, if you cannot tell, I love this palette so much. I cannot wait to play with this palette. My goal is to have another short up on Wednesday playing with this palette, so definitely tune in then if you would like to see a different look. I don't fully know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of thinking like a smoky look, but still, you know, whatever, just more fun ideas with this palette. But I think this is so pretty. I love this one for an additional, sorry, the mirror, as their second palette. I think it's really cute and really excited to play more with it. I love a lot of the shimmers in this palette. The one shade I will say that I did want to point out, because I do always want to be completely honest, is this shade here, which is called Crystallized. Here, like, re-swatch it for you. It is pretty, but it is the most, like, I feel like in the swatches, it's, like, not even showing up. So it is the most soft shade. I do think when I do that short video, I do really want to play with this, just to see if used, like, greens and stuff, can it really pop. That'd be probably the only thing I would say, is that's probably like my least like favorite shade. But all in all, I mean, same as the first palette, great pigmentation. I'm so happy that the price point stayed the same. That is super exciting. I think I definitely recommend this one. If you like this color story, I would highly recommend it. And then to give you my final thoughts about the brushes, I know that I kind of like talked about it as I was going. So I think that I really would, like, as a consumer walking back in, I would look at the set and see, are there brushes that you think you're going to use if you want to get this entire set? I'm going to use all these brushes, right? So, like, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not not going to use any of the brushes, but I do have brushes that I think I prefer more. By pulling out my favorites, which is most of them, right? It's most. There's only 5 I think that I have not pulled out, and then also we'll just say the little liner brush because I just don't use gel liners that much. That's honestly not bad. I would definitely say still a really good value. You can probably see that I tend to go for more smaller brushes except for this one big ol' fluffy brush. So I think that does make sense. There definitely are some additional brushes in here that I think are really nice. Just a couple more fluffy blending brushes, which are really great. And then a couple of flat type shadery brushes, which I think are also really great. So I think it's really just going to be up to you if you think the price is what you want to pay. Like I did mention before, I do admit that I have gotten other brush sets that I'm able to create looks with that are a little bit less expensive, but that's just kind of up to you, you know. And again, this is supporting an indie brand, so that's where it's kind of throwing that in there as well of high quality, vegan, synthetic, supporting a small indie brand. It's kind of that figuring out for you. And that is going to be the end of today's video. Definitely let me know down below what you all think. Are you going to pick this palette up? Did you already pick this palette up? I would just absolutely love to know. And let me know as well what you think of the looks. Are you going to be recreating anything? Do you have any ideas of looks? Is there anything maybe you want to see me play with or do in the future? Definitely let me know it down below. I would absolutely love it if you did subscribe. Help me out. That would be so awesome. Of course, only if you want to. Give me a like as well if you would like to. I hope you're having a great rest of your day, and I will see you on my next one. Okay, bye.